One morning, the Browns were in the middle of breakfast when Mrs. Brown suddenly let out a cry. "Good gracious, I've just remembered it's Mr. Curry's birthday today." Mr. Curry's birthday? I didn't know Mr. Curry had birthdays. "Everyone has birthdays," said Judy. "Even Mr. Curry." "I don't suppose the postman will be overworked. I can't imagine there being many cards." The Browns fell silent at the thought. "It's really rather sad," said Mrs. Brown. "I know he brings it on himself by being so bad-tempered, but we ought to do something for him." "Perhaps," said Paddington hopefully, "I could bake him a special birthday cake." "Not in my kitchen oven, you don't," said Mrs. Bird. "It's only just been cleaned. You can have some ingredients, if you like, but no cooking." "Thank you very much, Mrs. Bird," said Paddington doubtfully. It was very nice being offered some ingredients, but he couldn't picture Mr. Curry being very excited by a cold cake. On the other hand, an idea began to form in the back of his mind, and the more he thought about it, the more excited he became, until by the time Mrs. Bird went out shopping later that morning, he could hardly contain himself. Mr. Brown had an old field oven in his garage. It had once been used for picnics, but that was long ago. Now, it was more of a toolbox than an oven. All the same, Paddington felt that given enough ingredients, he would be able to make a very good cake indeed. But if mixing a cake and getting it into the oven had its problems, getting it out again was sometimes even more difficult. And with a large bowl of icing sugar waiting to be used up, he wasn't quite sure what he was going to do. Mr. Curry gazed down at the cake Paddington had made for him. "It's very kind of you, Bear," he said. "Very kind indeed." "It's untouched by hand," said Paddington eagerly. "I did it all by paw." Yes, well, I didn't put any candles on top in case the heat damaged the ceiling." "What's that? What do you mean by that, Bear? Are you suggesting—" "Perhaps you'd like to cut the cake, Mr. Curry." Yeah, all right. But special occasions demand special tools. I brought my best knife along." "Oh, dear, I shouldn't use that if I were you, Mr. Curry." "Nonsense, Bear. Stand back. I know what I'm doing. It can't have set that hard. Hasn't been time." Oh, Bear! Look at my knife." "Paddington did warn you."
"Whatever did you make the icing with?"
"Well," said Paddington, "it's not so much what it's made with, Mrs. Bird, it's what it's on. I couldn't get the cake out of the oven, so I decided to leave it inside instead. It's what's known as a door cake. It saves having a cake tin, and it stays fresh for ages, if you give it half a chance."